thoughtful as to how we do speak to people. It's easier unintentionally
Mm.
to sort of
Very
hurt
good.
somebody. We've all done it, I guess, but I suppose the answer is to just be aware that what we say does matter and can sort of hurt people.
Yeah.
Maybe it links with the next one. Actions speak louder than words. Do you
Mm.
think that's true? Actions speak louder than words?
Again, um, I'll let
Yes.
I'll let our phantom go first. Go on,
Yeah.
please.
Okay. I would like to say yes.
Yeah.
I would like to say yes because I would rather, well, for me as a person, I would rather have you do all the actions and bring all the sweet words. Oh, you're the best next thing to cheeseburger. You are sweeter than McDonald's. And no, 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 no. I'd rather
Yeah.
have you say, hey, I booked you a spa section. Yeah. Here's the tickets. We have a movie to catch. More like it. Than saying,
Yeah.
oh, I wanted to buy you a whole bowl of ice cream and I wanted to do this for you. Can you imagine? I
Yeah.
wanted to take you shopping, boy. I'll be a better person. Not to worry, I will change. I wouldn't cheat anymore. I wouldn't wink at that girl that you feel I'm winking at. I
Yeah.
want to see you not winking at her, not telling me with your words that you are not going
Yeah.
to do that.
All
That
right.
it's not like words don't matter. It does, but action in that situation or in such cases speaks better or speaks louder than
Yeah.
your promises or what you say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. In
Well,
that sense. Yeah. Go on, Cuz. Go on.
oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just thinking about an experience that I had with somebody that used to be a friend. Well, he's still a friend, but not as close as we used to. And he came up to me one day at an event and he said to me, he said, so how are you doing? And I thought, yeah, I'm all right. He said, no, really, how are you doing? And I thought. So anyway, I said to him, like I said, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm doing okay. And he said, oh, because I'm worried about you. And I thought, oh, that's a nice thing to say. Anyway, so I left there, went home, and on my way home, I thought, what's that mean? I'm worried about you. So anyway, I rang him up and I said, the question that you asked me about how I was doing and you was worried about me, was that out of love, out of care, or was it just something that you just said? And he said, "Oh, we need to talk about." Anyway, so we met up the next time, the other time, and then I said to him, and he said to me, "What was that? What was that about?" He said, "I only asked how you was doing." I said, "Yeah." I said, "But when you asked how I was doing, your expressions said something different." And
Mm.
and I said, next time you ask somebody in a loving way how they're doing, I said you need to get your expressions to be in uniform with your words, really. And I said, you said something to me in something that was loving, in a kind way, and I was looking at your eyes. I said, your eyes said
Mm.
different, and he didn't like it. It didn't like it. It just went, oh no. And then weeks later, I've heard somebody else say something like that. Oh, what's wrong with this person? He's asking me these questions, and it doesn't seem very genuine. And I thought, whoa, that's it. I got my answer there because I thought. So sometimes when we say words, sometimes the actions that comes with the words might say something different. Might say something different. For instance, you could
Mm.
say to somebody, "I love you," but then your actions, maybe even your expressions say something different. So yeah, it is. Yeah, actions can actually speak louder than words.
Yeah, I mean, in that sense, sometimes people say words are cheap in the sense that we can easily say something and not follow through with it. And I think it's all about what we say, walking the walk, walking the talk. You know, it's very easy to sort of talk the talk, but sometimes you've got to walk the talk as well. And we see that, don't we, with we don't do politics, but we see that sometimes with all the promises that are made politically across the spectrum, which are never fulfilled, or things are happening that they never said. So words are cheap. We get promised all sorts of things, not just politically, but in life, which very often don't happen. So in that sense, words they can be cheap, which leads to another one, a well-known expression, which comes from a couple of hundred years ago from a play, I believe, and it's the pen is mightier than the sword. Now, I actually included that line in one of my songs probably a couple of years ago, Dream-Led Byline. And I got that line in there, the pen is mightier than the sword. What do you think that means?
Well, first of all, I'll have to go and listen to the song.
Yeah, do.
I'll have to go and listen to that song now. I'm on Spotify Googling. I'll be on Spotify Googling it. Dream-Led Byline.
You'll find it.
Well, I'll hand over to Phantom SC.
To our learned friend,
Yeah, to our learned friend.
Yeah. So when someone says that the pen is mightier than the sword, it's actually a proverbial saying. What it simply means is that words, right, are better or makes much more sense than violence. Right. And it also passes the information that communicating, writing, spreading of knowledge has much more effect and influence on people than physical force, than violence. So when they said the pen is mightier than the sword, and also then back then, many years ago, many centuries ago, if there was a war on ground and people are already on the battlefield, a king somewhere can just write and send an emissary that war shouldn't take place, and it will save a lot of lives from being lost, literally. Do you get? Because if, for instance, the violence takes place, they fight and everyone dies, what the pen would have